So let's get into this. Sabrina Carpenter, a controversy. I'll explain why this is not a controversy at all. And if you're mad about this, I mean, you're a loser. Let's dive in. All right. Sabrina Carpenter says controversy is Sabrina Carpenter's best friend with scandalized reaction to new album cover. By the way, two people I really do love, Katie Atkinson, Keith Caulfield, the co-authors, quote unquote, of this article on Billboard.com. Keith is in charge of the Billboard 200 albums chart. Katie is one of the best Billboard writers they have, longtime veteran of that magazine, and just a very nice gal, Katie Atkinson. So they do a pop shop podcast. That's what it's called. And they were talking about this. But let's dive into this. If you're unfamiliar, the controversy around the album cover. So there's Sabrina Carpenter. At this point, we should be conditioned to expect pop stars to behave in a controversial manner. You think? And yet, when Sabrina Carpenter released the cover for her upcoming Man's Best Friend album, social media was up in arms about the provocative artwork, which features the singer-songwriter on all fours with her hair being grabbed by a faceless person. So let's start there. She's not scantily clad, and even if she was, it's 2025. Like, where are these people that, aren't on the internet? If it's 1985 and you're in the Bible Belt of America and you don't have access to MTV and you've never seen a Motley Crue music video, or you don't have premium cable where they show some skin or nudity, okay. I can empathize with that person. It's 2025, bro. Your outrage is performative. Okay? What did Eminem say on Slim Shady? Right? We're gonna act like what does he say here about the Animal Planet? They got the Discovery Channel, don't they? We're going to act, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm fried. We're going to act like kids have never seen something like this or haven't seen something worse than this. If you're a parent and you think your teenager hasn't seen something way worse than the Sabrina Carpenter Man's Best Friend album cover, bro, you're living in a Delulu world, and you should check your kid's phone, dude. If you want that reality check your kid's phone. If you don't, keep getting mad at people like Sabrina Carpenter, by the way. And isn't it funny? I mean, people call out a lot of misogyny in the world, and some of it's misogyny in my estimation, but then we let real misogyny just get off the hook, right? Because it's why, if we really want to champion female empowerment, right, then we should be letting women do whatever they want to do and express themselves however they want to be expressed and however they want to express themselves, bro. Right? This idea that a woman can't express herself sexually is totally born out of the same issue of the, male gaze, if you will, right? GAZE, is that they want to control women, right? Women should be controlled and they should be respectful and they should be polite. They should be clean, right? And I'm saying all of this, this isn't even a vulgar album cover. You know what I mean? And also if you take away, because I get it, we've rewarded outrage for so long now. I honestly don't hold it against people that get outraged on the internet. I really don't. Because they've been rewarded for it for so long. If you're 10 years old and you start seeing outrage culture on the rise, and then you're like, oh, that's a thing I can do. That's a thing I can be when I grow up. I can be somebody who just complains. And they don't think of it like that. But there's absolutely a generation that did that grew up, saw all these people getting attention, maybe even liked some of these accounts that got attention through complaining. And they're like, dude, when I grow up, I'm going to complain. And they don't know that's what they're doing, but that's what they're doing. But this is ridiculous. Sorry, I'm very worked up about this. Because if you just take a step back and you don't get outraged, you might learn something. And you might actually find that this is how I interpret the album cover. And it'll be interesting to see if Sabrina Carpenter fans agree with me. It'll be interesting if Sabrina ever addresses it directly, which she doesn't have to. I think as a guy that interviews people for a living, I hate when I hear interviewers and they're like, what does this song mean? Who's this song about? What's the album mean? Why did you choose the title? Dude, do you just want to take all the fun away from art? You want to take all the fun away from music? So much of the beauty and the power of music is internalizing it and having different interpretations of it. And I think that's boring if you just want to know exactly what it means. So I don't want to know exactly what it means. But what it means, I think, if you don't get outraged and you just interpret the album cover, is that a lot of men, man children, frustrating men, difficult men, emotionally unavailable men, will treat women like a dog, right? Like they're there for their amusement. They're there to be in service to the man, right? And so here's Sabrina on all fours, like a dog. And when you see that, for the people that got outraged, you probably felt it was ridiculous. You probably felt maybe it was disrespectful, right? And for the simpletons that went, oh, it's contradicting. She's supposed to be the female empowerment artist, and now here she is on all fours. You're completely missing the point. You're completely missing the point. Art should make you feel something. And what that feeling it elicits or inspires in you is most likely the point of the piece of art. If art makes you uncomfortable, that's good. It probably intended to make you uncomfortable because there are a lot of truths in the world that are uncomfortable. And yeah, like we should confront that. How are women being treated in relationships? And maybe Sabrina Carpenter feels like that's how she's been treated in relationships. You know, if you believe what she says on songs like Manchild, I thought it was a poignant album cover. I thought it was a masterful job of the album cover because you can only appreciate how ridiculous it is how some women are treated by seeing how ridiculous Sabrina looks acting as a dog, being held by her hair, you know, so dismissively, if you want to interpret it that way. Or there's another meeting where like she's into that stuff and she's allowed to be into that stuff because she's empowered, right? I don't know. I think that if you're upset about this, get a life. I do want to plug their podcast. On the new Billboard Pop Shop podcast, Katie and Keith are talking about the loud reaction to the album art, including the women on The View debating its feminist merits. A couple questions really quick. Who watches The View? Do you know anyone that watches The View? If you know someone who watches The View, can you just comment? And you don't have to call them out, but comment on this video. I just want to get an idea of who is watching The View. And furthermore than watching The View, because people watch all sorts of stuff, right? Like, hey, what channel does The View air on? Oh, okay, cool. I don't work there. We all watch car crashes, right? So there's people that watch The View just for that because they're like, this is ridiculous. I want to know if there's anybody in the world or that gets served this video once we clip it out on social media that watches The View and actually listens to the opinions of these people. It's not a gender thing, dude. It's not like a woman thing. It's just like, it's the same, because, you know, it's the same thing with male programming. Like, you ever watch these like sports shows where you just get like 5 dudes and they're just arguing about like how many games a football team is going to win in 6 months from now? And it never occurs to any of the dudes watching this or any of the dudes fighting that none of you know the answer to that question. It's the same thing, but I guess that's for women, you know, traditionally speaking. So they debated its feminist merits. I bet that was captivating, bro. And then they talk about why the buzz plays directly into Carpenter's hands, which, I mean, isn't that the point? I've even seen, dude, this is our 4th episode of doing the live stream. I've even seen on social media, I did a video about the band Turnstile, and I said, Turnstile only sold 37,000 units. Yes, that is not a lot of units, guys. It's not a lot of units for a major label band, for a band who is getting airplay across alternative rock radio stations in America. That is not a lot of units. The point of the video was, hey man, their fans may not be streamers. They might be punk rock kids that buy, or hardcore, whatever, that buy vinyl, that buy CDs, that go to shows. And that's where they're going to spend their money. And all these idiots were like, only 37,000. You should compare it to other rock band, right? And I was like, oh my God. And then all these people started bragging about how much like money they spent on the band. Like, oh yeah, you don't think we're gonna buy their record? You think we're only gonna buy the concert tickets? I bought the CD and the vinyl and the merch. And it's like, since when is consumerism punk rock? I mean, I'm not judging, but it's just like, you assholes. Like, hey guys, maybe there's a kid out there that can't afford all that stuff. And that wasn't even the point of my original video. The point of my video was like, hey, we shouldn't be judging bands equally or artists equally in terms of streaming and album consumption, because we want different things from different artists. Okay. So, anyways, I say all of that about the Turnstile video because I saw in real time, like, oh, like, anger's good because all these people are yelling at me. I mean, they're just yelling at the wind, but they're yelling at me in this video. And it's like making the video do better. So it's just interesting how that works, right? I think it's really interesting that, like, oh, when people are mad at you, it kind of helps your reach if you want, or attention if you want. And I'm not baiting that. I'm just saying it was a thing I noticed this week that I found was really interesting. So there's a little bit of a follow-up here, guys, to the Sabrina Carpenter story, a precedent, if you will. And we're going to switch over to this tab from our good friends at Stereo Gum. Sabrina Carpenter album cover controversy. Are you going to let me scroll? Like, what are we doing here, guys? Really? Okay. Thank you. Jeez. Sabrina Carpenter album cover controversy sounds familiar to Carly Simon. So let's take a look at. We're just going to plug staples all. Really? Stereo Gum? Okay. Yeah, I got paid. I get it. So this is Carly Simon. You know Carly Simon, right? You're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. I'm not trying to focus on this woman's derriere. This is where we are on the page. Playing Possum, Carly Simon. So here's again. I just want to be so effing clear, is like, one of the biggest issues in the world is people trying to control women. Like, it's like religions do this, and then we fight wars over those religions. Like, from the beginning of time, it's just like, stop trying to control women. And it's not just a male thing. It's not a gender thing. It's like, women will judge women. And I'm looking at this album cover and I'm going, at a point in human history, this was controversial. Gotta let these ladies live, dog. All right. It's been a week since Sabrina Carpenter announced the short and sweet follow-up Man's Best Friend, whose spicy cover. The fact that we're even referring to that as spicy, I mean, it is so tame. Whose spicy cover depicting the singer on her knees having her hair pulled. Man, Google hair pulling, man, and you're gonna get some images on Google, bro, that are really hair pulling. A man is. We don't even know if it's a man. A person's holding her hair. Get over it, dude. Okay, pulled, sent the internet into a puritanical spiral. Now, Carly Simon, who experienced a similar situation with her sultry Playing Possum cover in 1975, is expressing support for the espresso singer. That's hard for me to say. In the Playing Possum artwork, the veteran singer-songwriter is also kneeling on the floor. Oh my God. So women aren't allowed to kneel. You hear that, ladies? No kneeling. She's wearing black lingerie. Is that black, really? And the picture was taken as she was moving through poses. It wasn't done on purpose. It wasn't a setup. The initial reactions from her team were positive. No one thought about what it might convey. What does it convey? It was fascinating, unique image, and it left a lot to the imagination. Yeah, she's fully clothed. You see more skin at the beach, you losers. Okay, then once the album was out, suddenly I'm getting calls from Time and Newsweek saying, this is one of the sexiest covers that is ever known. There's this whole controversy around what it did. What did it represent? Nothing. It felt very much like that energy in a woman, but I just thought it was a beautiful shot. None of that stuff they were talking about was the intention. And even if it was, F off. About the Man's Best Friend artwork, Simon said, it seems tame. Thank you. By the way, how old is Carly Simon now? And I say this with all due respect. Carly Simon is 81 years old. Carly Simon is 81. Do you know how stupid you look when you're one of these idiots on the internet expressing outrage Because a woman, this is what it's all about. I'm being very real tonight. Because a woman is acting in a way that you don't approve of. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, son. That's what you're mad about. How ridiculous are you that you're outraged over how a woman is behaving that is incongruent with how you want her to behave, and an 81-year-old, I say with love, national treasure, Carly Simon, an 81-year-old is less bothered about it than you. Just just think about that. Seems pretty tame. There have been far flashier covers than hers. One of the most startling covers I've ever seen was the Rolling Stones' "Sticky Fingers." That was out there in terms of sexual attitude. So I don't know why she's getting such flack. I'm gonna look up "Sticky Fingers" to see if I can put this on the screen. I don't know this album cover. This is just like a guy's pants. Yeah, this is stupid. She goes on to say, well, any press is good press, so I wouldn't worry about the press. And as far as her being salacious, I certainly don't think it's that. I mean, look at all those people who dress much more scantily. She's so beautiful, and she should be proud of herself and the way she looks. I don't see anything wrong with it. I thought it was going over the line a little bit, touching the man's knee. What? I thought she didn't have to do that. Okay. Well, Carly, don't lose me here. I was speaking very kindly about you. When someone on Twitter wondered if Carpenter has a personality outside of sex, what? The pop star responded with a quote tweet, "Girl, yes, and it is good." I mean, that's really offensive to me. That you ask a woman to shave. Here's the thing. People don't like sexually liberated women. Like, do you want to say the quiet part out loud? Like, yeah, guys feel inadequate and insecure around sexually liberated women. Other women who aren't sexually liberated will also feel threatened by these women. And because that's kind of like the one thing that like people have over women. Men can do whatever they want and then women can't, right? And the way we do that now in a passive way, because we still do all these awful things from the past, but we just do them in a passive way now, is we judge women through commentary, right? So we won't say slurs because that'll get you in trouble, but you'll like judge them through commentary, right? And you'll contextualize them in a way where it's like, Sabrina Carpenter is an incredibly brilliant 25-year-old woman who is incredibly talented and has triple threat, right? Am I using that? Is she a dancer? Does she dance? She's a great actress. I'll say, let's throw comedian in there and then singer. Boom. There's 3 for Sabrina right there. And I mean, just the fact that anybody's trying to like tear her down is weird to me, bro. Very weird, bro.